Tomonews for Tuesday, June 27th. Man's hand pulled into meat grinder. A young man in Taiwan learned about the dangers of kitchen equipment the hard way after getting his hand caught in the jaws of a meat grinder. The 22-year-old, surnamed Chen, had just graduated from culinary school and recently joined his uncle's staff at a turkey rice restaurant. Demonstrating good hygiene, Chen always made sure to wear gloves whenever he handled meat in the kitchen. However, it was his adherence to health codes that may have cost him the use of his hand. On May 18th, Chen was preparing some turkey meat when his glove became ensnared in the grinder. The meat mincing machine relentlessly pulled the rest of the glove, with Chen's hand inside of it, farther into its metal belly. Chen's uncle immediately unplugged the grinder and in a panic called firefighters to help. To avoid doing more damage to Chen's hand, the responders opted to take him to the hospital while still attached to the machine. A specialist helped disassemble the meat grinder, but no word yet on whether doctors were able to save Chen's hand.
Fatal motorcycle accident caught on camera. Not much is known about this horrific fatal motorcycle accident, but graphic video of it has gone viral. Due to YouTube's guidelines on violent or graphic content, we can't show you the entire thing here, but it's available on our website via the link in the description. As far as we can tell, the video was shot by a motorcyclist at a T intersection in Polotsk, Belarus. The cameraman checked traffic and noticed a red Audi sedan approaching from the right. As the sedan moves to turn left, a motorcycle collides with the hood of the vehicle. Let's see that again. The Audi driver was a 61-year-old, and the people on the motorcycle involved in the collision were a 19-year-old male with a 17-year-old female passenger. Both of the teenagers were taken to the hospital, where the young woman died the following day. Take care on the roads, people.
Circus tiger endures 31 lashes from trainer in under 2 minutes.
With the final curtain call now in the rearview mirror for Ringling Bros, you might think circus animal abuse in America has now become a thing of the past, but you'd be wrong. An undercover investigation conducted by the Humane Society of the United States has revealed a horrific case of ongoing animal abuse against a circus tiger named Tora at the hands of her trainer, Ryan Easley. The report released this past month details a range of cruelties inflicted upon Tora and other tigers over a 3-week span from late December to January 18th, 2017. The traveling act called Show Me Tigers is headquartered in Hugo, Oklahoma. Easley takes the tigers on the road as part of acts for Cardin Circus, Shrine Circuses, the Kelly Miller Circus, and last year at the Circus World Museum. During the undercover investigation, the tigers were observed being whipped repeatedly to perform unnatural behaviors like walking on their hind legs. In one training session, Tora the tiger was lashed 31 times in under 2 minutes. She was not provided veterinary care for a raw open gash on the side of her face. Previously, the USDA cited Easley for failing to provide her medical attention for a laceration on her ribcage. While on the road, the tigers were locked in their 13-square-foot transport cages, where they ate, slept, urinated, and defecated. When they weren't performing, these cages were their world, exclusively. No exercise time was allotted, and their exercise cage itself was never taken off the transport truck. Not only are their cages extremely restrictive, they are unheated, with a mere inch of bedding separating the tigers from cold steel in temperatures that drop well below freezing. Starving the tigers was another method Easley often practiced, not feeding them at all on 5 out of 22 days, and rarely providing them their necessary dietary supplements. Elephant in Sri Lankan Buddhist ceremony kills monk. A traditional Buddhist ceremony in Sri Lanka went horribly wrong when an elephant in the procession suddenly snapped and unleashed its anger on a monk standing nearby. On the night of June 11th, in a town just north of Colombo, 3 elephants were walking together as part of a religious ceremony, accompanied by monks and worshippers. Something must have spooked one of the elephants, because out of nowhere, the large animal reportedly broke from the procession and went berserk. A 25-year-old Buddhist monk happened to be in the wrong place at the absolute worst time. He was attacked by the elephant and died hours later. Officials say 127 elephants in Sri Lanka are owned and rented out for festivals or special events. Many of them are kept in inhumane conditions. Backyard elephants have long been seen as a status symbol in the country, indicating wealth, privilege, and power. But Buddhists, really? That doesn't exactly even out, does it? It should come as no surprise that a long-enslaved elephant would one day reach its breaking point, and then lash out at any human within reach of its trunk. Wouldn't you?
Russian teens light themselves on fire and jump off bridge. A pair of teenagers douse themselves in flammable liquid and then lit themselves on fire before jumping off a bridge in the Russian city of Penza in video which has since gone viral. The first video starts with one of the teens wearing a coat as his friend squirts some type of flammable liquid all over his back. The friend then lights the teen on fire as he jumps off the 20-foot bridge down into the river below. In a second clip, both teens are seen standing on the edge of the bridge as they are both set ablaze at the same time. The two then jump together off the bridge. They come up from the water and start to swim back towards the bank, apparently unharmed. It looks like the reason they tried the dangerous stunt was to get likes on social media. Police are investigating and have reportedly arrested one of the teens.
After surgery, woman's vagina almost mutilates boyfriend's penis. A leaky vagina is an undesirable problem to have. When a woman in Brighton, England went to have it sorted out, the specialized surgery she had actually did even more damage. After giving birth several years ago, Teresa Bardham found herself struggling with stress incontinence due to a prolapsed bladder. The condition can result in dripping urine when sneezing, coughing, lapping, or even exercising. Stripped of her confidence in the bedroom, Bardham opted to have transvaginal tape inserted, also known as TVT, which would hold up her drooping urethra and leave her pee problems in the past. Back to having sex, she was as sexually satisfied as ever until one night in 2009, when her boyfriend's willy entered with excitement but left covered in blood. Bardham says they stopped having sex because all he saw was a Venus flytrap. 6 months later, they were Splitsville. Though doctors kept telling Bardham her TVT was functioning fine, she suspected otherwise. A series of health problems and ailments followed her like a dark... Leaking drops of pee here and there suddenly doesn't seem so bad. Great white sharks being hunted by killer whales. Great white sharks are widely seen as the ocean's most feared predator, but 3 separate incidents of their carcasses washing ashore in South Africa this past month would suggest that they too have something to fear: orca whales. Marine scientists dissecting these great whites have observed a fascinating pattern. The bodies, each wrought with orca bites, are missing the shark's liver. The organs were removed with almost surgical precision, offering us new understanding about the hunting behaviors and capabilities of the killer whale. Great white sharks traverse the ocean as solitary creatures, but orca whales, referred to as the wolves of the sea, are often known to hunt as a pod. When hunting sharks, orca whales use their powerful tails to create strong underwater currents from below, forcing unsuspecting great whites to the surface. The whale then stuns its prey. It then lifts its tail out of the water and swings down with tremendous force, unleashing a fatal blow. The great white shark's liver holds a high concentration of squalene, a steroid and hormone-producing compound attractive to killer whales. South Africa's recent influx of great white shark carcasses absent of a liver is leading scientists to believe the whales may be relaying this hunting strategy amongst their pod. The researchers think the sharks may have now become of interest to the orcas because their typical food sources are diminishing from pollution and climate change. In the 5 years prior to these findings, only 4 great white shark carcasses had washed ashore in this particular region. Retired circus lions found dead at animal sanctuary. 2 lions released from circuses in South America last year were finally given the chance to taste freedom. Sent to a wildlife refuge in northern South Africa, they were set to live out the remainder of their existence in peace. Sadly, that dream was short-lived after their bodies were found decapitated this past week. The male lions, Jose and Liso, were among 33 saved from circuses in Peru and Colombia in May of 2016 and were given a home at Amoya Big Cat Sanctuary. Though the sanctuary has 24-hour security measures in place, poachers still managed to enter the premises at night. Once the poachers were in, the animals were hunted, their heads and paws cut off, and the rest of their bloodied bodies left behind. Some conservationists believe their parts are being used to make potions and charms to be sold in the country's witchcraft market. With Asian tigers disappearing more every year, African lion bones are being substituted to brew tonics and traditional healing medicines. There's no evidence any of these methods actually have any healing properties for humans. Liso, Jose, you will be missed.
Iran blames the Saudis for twin ISIS attacks. ISIS has claimed responsibility for 2 terrorist attacks in the Iranian capital Tehran on Wednesday, in which at least 12 people died and a further 46 were injured. Iran's parliament at around 10:30 a.m., where 4 attackers disguised as women killed 11 people and wounded dozens of others. At least one attacker blew himself up on the 4th floor of the building. It took Iranian authorities several hours to kill the attackers and end the siege. At the same time as the assault on Parliament, 2 terrorists attacked the mausoleum of Ayatollah Khomeini, where they detonated explosives at the western entrance. 1 victim was killed at the shrine, and both of the attackers reportedly committed suicide. Iranian officials blamed Saudi Arabia and the United States for the attacks, even though ISIS said it was responsible. Iran is a predominantly Shiite Muslim country. The Shiite faith is regarded as heretical by Sunni Muslim ISIS militants. Forces backed by Iran are at war with ISIS in Iraq and Syria. If ISIS's claims are true, this would be the group's first successful attack on Iranian soil.